Lead by example by continuously striving for mastery. Watch this video to learn how. If you have any questions about this video, any of the details in it, or thoughts, please comment. If you get any value, please share, like, and subscribe. Thanks. So striving for excellence at the top edge of your skill is fundamental to two powerful things, and that is mastery and motivation. If you want to master something, it by necessity requires that you're always working at improving from the point you are at, and that will drive not only your motivation, but the motivation of others. Now, the reason this is so important is because the example you set as the leader is that having high standards, practicing and acting on high standards will spread throughout the organization. So as they say, what starts at the top rolls downhill. Now, if you have a flat organization, it spreads. Either way, your reports, those who you are leading, are influenced by what you do. If you are nice, they will tend to be nice. If you're a jerk, Steve Jobs, they will tend to be jerks, and so on. So whatever you want in your organization is what you have to demonstrate, because they will emulate whatever you demonstrate. You will rarely, if ever, regret striving to do your best. Failing honestly feels good. A bit redundant there. But if you fail honestly, that is, you failed because you tried your damnedest and you didn't achieve something, you're not going to feel bad because you actually tried your best. The other more popular version these days is don't threaten your ego, always feel good, stay in your comfort zone and try your least so you guarantee success. That is not something that's motivational, because it's sort of like, well, I tried my least and I achieved it. So what? I did one push-up. Nobody's proud of that. So if you want to drive your motivation, the motivation of your reports, and really achieve a level of excellence and continuous mastery and improvement, that requires you to work at the top edge, striving where there's risk of failure. In fact, it will be common at that top edge. So this is based on K. Anders Ericsson's deliberate practice, which is research-backed. It's simple, but it's not easy to use this method to master basically anything. So it's a simple method, but it's not an easy method, which is why not everybody is the best at the world at what they do, because most people would prefer to be comfortable, ego validated, and protect themselves than actually risk getting great and possibly failing, which is a common experience for people who are masterful. So essentially what this means is you will make a lot of mistakes because this is at the top edge of your skill, not that middle, soft, wimpy comfort zone. And the bonus of that is you'll maximize learning. You'll know what parts you need to work on, whatever this skill happens to be. Now, this could be social skills. It could be running a meeting. It could be like what I'm doing with this video. Am I awesome? No, but I suck less than I used to, or I'm improving and striving to be better all the time. So the main thing you do is you focus on one single subset of your skill. So say you were a golfer and you wanted to improve your golf swing. You don't say, I'm going to focus on improving my golf swing. That's too big. Instead, say, I'm going to improve and focus on improving only the rotation of my hips and leave everything else the way it is. Once I've really nailed rotation of my hips, I'll move on to some other aspect like my grip, the position of my head, my starting position. But you choose one thing, and you focus only on that. Now, with the supervision or help of an expert coach, teacher, consultant, whatever it is, have them watch you and get their objective feedback. Now, if you don't have that luxury or it's not going to work for you, you don't want to do that, then have some kind of objective recording device which would be something like a video recorder, a video camera, if it's something that can be visually assessed, an audio recording device, if it's something where it's sound, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be a computer program that tracks the way you do something, but something that is impassionate, something that will record what you do as it is, not the way you wish it was, so that you can get that thing. Then you basically reflect on that feedback from that consultant, that coach, that teacher, that objective recording device, and you use that to go back and readjust and level up your skill to the next level using that feedback. And you repeat this process forever until you're where you want to achieve. Of course, you can do this with any subset of the same skill or any skill in general. You just transfer the same principle, right? So it's basically do, check, refine. So about here, there should be a link, a bookmark to Anders Ericsson's wonderful, masterful short video that explains this better than I'm doing. And it's called Deliberate Practice Makes Perfect. I'll also put it in the description if you didn't watch this on YouTube. So let's see here. Just be aware that his famous rule, the 10,000 hour rule, was misinterpreted by Malcolm Gladwell in, I believe it was The Tipping Point, when he talked about, well, after 10,000 hours, you will be a master. That's completely wrong. And these are the words of Ericsson himself. He said 10,000 hours was the average time to the beginning of mastery, not the end of mastery. Understand that mastery is a trajectory, not a destination. You're always mastering at your new level. That's how people become the best. So 3 final points to sort of tie this all together and foster mastery throughout your organization. And that is strive for mastery yourself, because you are the leader, the example, and will create that same standard for all of those who are within your organization. Use deliberate practice, as I've described and is described in that video, to achieve mastery. Apply it as appropriate, but by and large, it can be applied fundamentally unchanged to master any skill, which is why it's so valuable. And then the point that isn't talked about, and this is, let's call it recovery, is neurocritical. And what I mean by that is, just like when you're an athlete, if you're weightlifting or you're running or you're doing any kind of athletic activity, you need a recovery day. You need to recover the systems and the muscles. The same is true for your brain. And the only difference is with physical training is usually maximal safe muscle stress or maximal safe athletic stress within safe limits, but otherwise maximal, and then a recovery period before you repeat that cycle. In the case of neurological training, which is basically all mental skills, and ironically enough, most athletic skills have a neuromuscular component, which contributes most of your strength, most of your performance, whether you're aware of it or not. And so in neurological mental training skills, skills that are more around your brain, social skills, things like that, that same recovery in this case would be sleep and psychological safety. So training 90 hours a week to make yourself the best will not make you the best, because you're compromising the mechanism that actually records the data and can make you better and better. You have to give it rest, just like you have to give your muscles rest. So that's it for How to Master Anything. Crush It Club, episode 102. My name is Tim B. Green. Bye for now.